gets berated on the podcast we've created to commemorate action flicks, big horror, no tricks. John Travolta, Chuck Norris, insane clown posse, no fuss, no mercy, we discuss. Everything gets berated, no one is underrated. From the screen to the stage, except a new cage. No mercy, we engage.
Welcome to Everything Gets Berated, where we talk about everything other than indie horror, and sometimes indie horror. I'm Amferny.
What is up, everybody? It is me, Brian, with a B. I don't know if I like that because that rhymed. You know?
Yeah.
Are you against rhyming? Is that what they're going to say?
I'm not.
I don't know. If you do it on like accent, wait till your kid's a little bit older and you say something and it rhymes and you're just like, God damn it. You know, when he's getting in trouble.
Yeah. That's going to distract from the seriousness of the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, I think today's episode, I don't know when you're listening to this, but this episode, you can't say today because we'll have to listen to it tonight. Right? Yeah. This episode is a little bit different. So, we're going to talk about, I don't even know what to say, two movies. I was going to say two like iconic movies.
Well,
no.
In a sense, they are iconic because these are movies that people hold in high esteem. There are followings for these movies.
Shut up.
I'm dead serious, and I feel like I'm giving it way too much of a lead in on that. But yeah, then we're talking about 1986's RAD, the BMX racing movie, and 1993's Airborne, the inline skating movie.
Yeah. I guess let's start this off. But well, so I'm double fisting it today because you know, I figured this would be a little bit longer than normal. So just not one whiskey and Coke. I also have a couple truly unrulies, the 8%.
Damn, really you're going for it.
Dude, after yesterday, man, God, I had to do some plumbing in my house. Like, it used to be, I'm like comparing this to electronics, I guess. It used to be so easy to do shit. Now it's fucking so many steps and so hard to do. I've replaced, you know, handles shit like that. But anyways, it fucking took way longer than it should have. How about that? I had to go and buy more tools than should have been needed. And yeah, man.
I feel you, man.
Dude, lame. But all right, so Airborne. You want to do the gist of Airborne, and then I'll say what the real gist is?
So this is basically like a fish out of water story. That's the way I took it. Like, we have a surfer boy from some beach city in California. They are never very clear about that. Who moves to Cincinnati, who also rollerblades, and takes up hockey and rollerblading, well, angering and then winning over an entire town of teenagers, and then going in a big rollerblading race that is only important to the people that are in the race.
Kinda.
Did I nail it? No.
You missed a couple things.
What did I miss?
I said that the gist, it's about this kid's parents who don't like him, so they abandon him and go on vacation for like 7 months to Australia. And they send him to a gang-ridden town where he's picked on, and then he sexually harasses this dude, and he makes him popular, and then he wins a death race on rollerblades.
That's okay. Yeah. You kind of hit a few more spots than I did.
Yeah. So, I mean, it starts out nice, you know?
Oh, wait. We got to go through the credits real quick.
Oh, yeah.
So, directed by Rob Bowman and starring Shane McDermott as Mitchell Goosen, the title character.
Okay.
Seth Green as Wiley.
That guy.
Yeah. Brittney Powell as Nikki. Chris Conrad as Jack. Jack Black as Augie. And Jacob Vargas as Snake.
Yeah.
Which there's also the parents too, the uncle and the aunt, which I find them to be very entertaining.
Well, they were so excited to be like, finally, you little bastard, we're getting away from you. You know? But the movie does start out, it starts out nice with safety first. I'm pretty sure they did it backwards, though, because they put all those pads on and then stretched. Where it's like, wouldn't you normally put stretching first and then put your pads on?
Exactly.
But then, I've also never seen so many pads on a professional.
Exactly.
But I mean, I guess safety first again. But then again, it also, every single time they jumped, like their knees almost hit the ground. You're just like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's what? Like, unless all these people did their own stunts. They're like, hey, have you ever rollerbladed? No, but I really want to be in this movie. Okay, well, you have 6 days.
They had
get in there.
I think I saw it in the credits. They used Team Rollerblade for a lot of the stunt work.
Okay, well, Team Rollerblade needs to be better. Just like everybody in the world, just be better. That's all. Just be better, And then, like, I don't know, like, do people really cross sports like that? Like, I know skaters and bladers, like, dislike each other, but would bladers and surfers get along?
I don't know. I've never heard of that rivalry, though, either.
But, I've never seen Shaun White. I've never seen him being like, hey, when I'm done snowboarding, I'm going to get my scooter and I'm going to go and fucking drop down on the half pipe with the scooter,
I mean, I took it as more of it's like his side thing, that he's primarily a surfer, but like he also rollerblades.
But I just don't think that those two stories cross paths. You know what I'm saying?
They don't. They really don't.
Because first off, you probably can't rollerblade in dirt,
No.
Yeah. So rollerblading.
I can say that for a fact. You cannot rollerblade in dirt.
Rollerblading to the ocean and then be like, all right, here's my surfboard, motherfuckers. That just seems like gears.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that just seems like their gears would get all gunked up and,
But I do like that transition where they're rollerblading to the ocean and then they jump and then they're in the ocean.
Yeah, they jump that wall. And you're like, wait a second, that's what I was talking about. Like, you can't freaking rollerblade and be like, hi-ya, and jump and then land in soft, beautiful sand and then be like, all right, guys, let's race to the ocean water now. They still wear their rollerblades while they're surfing. Like,
they'd be heavy in the ocean with all those pads on.
Yeah. They're like, oh, just in case shark comes up and bites me, I can helmet him. I can elbow drop the shark. I won't be that bad. So then his parents break the news to him. They're just like, hey, son, guess what? We got some good news and some bad news. And he's like, all right, what's the good news? Like, we're going to fucking Australia for 6 months. We got fucking a grant. Everything's paid for. We're talking 5-star restaurants, hotels, chicks, you fucking name it. And the kid's like, hell yeah. And they're like, but the bad news is it's just us.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to go.
Which I do love that whole moment where he's like, wait, you want to sit down and talk? What's wrong?
Yeah, he knew something was up. His parents... his parents, they're like, oh, we just didn't want to register you for school there, so we're just going to leave you, and we're going, to some awesome place, and you're going to some shithole town. And it's like, smell you later, bitch. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, my parents, when I was 16, they moved to a very, 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 very tiny town in Alaska. And I think there was 500 people. And they're like, all right, Brian, you're going to spend your senior year here. And I said, the fuck I am. Like, I moved out of my parents' house when I was about 16 years old because they wanted me to move to Bethel, Alaska for my senior year of high school. And I was like, nah, that ain't me. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I could only imagine, like, I don't know. But if my parents were like, hey, we're moving to Australia for your senior year of high school, that one I'd be torn. You know? Do I want to go to Australia and a new country for high school? Or do I want to go back where I was awesome and, you know, have all my friends and girlfriend and get prom king and shit like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been tough. But Bethel, fuck that. Easy answer for me on that. You know, and then my brother's like, really? He's like, you fucking sent me to that town with just my younger sisters. I didn't have a fucking brother to hang out with. And I was like, damn, I didn't look at it like that, man. I was like, I'm fucking sorry. What a shitty brother I was.
Be a team player.
Dude. But literally every time I got on a snowmobile, I either got rear-ended or I rolled it. And I was like, maybe this is my sign that I shouldn't be in fucking winter sports. I should stick to summer sports.
That's fair.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So then he goes from California
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah. Cincinnati, Ohio.
The two most different places in the world in the middle of winter.
Dude, his cousin looks like some nerd ginger Black Panther that does like those smash poetries or some shit. You know?
Yeah. He's supposed to like be the guy who's trying too hard to be cool.
Yeah. And he nailed that.
But I guess, you know, because like Seth Green is a nerd, so he nails nerd energy very well.
But you don't gotta. I think it's in my notes somewhere. But like I said, he was trying to look like the Black Panther, black leather jacket, but then it was like his mom's hippie jacket because it had the frill coming out of the armpits.
Yeah,
and
it's got so much fringe.
Yeah, dude. Like, first impressions were really big, and I was like, damn, Seth.
I know.
Like, that sucks that you're my cousin, and, you know. Yeah, and then the cousin looks like a metal biker wannabe wearing, like, that leather jacket with ruffles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, he's all happy because they get, like, share a room. I'd be like, God damn it. I know you fucking masturbate with no lotion. Like, you're just out there fucking dry dogging your dick. And we gotta share a fucking room together.
Then he's got all these like naked ladies up, or like half naked ladies on his wall.
He's like, yeah, look at these posters. I got these ones at Hot Topic. I got this at Walmart. I got this one at Spencer's Gifts. Yeah, dude. He thought his room was like so cool, but
I mean, he gets the basement, which is kind of like that was a dream of mine to just like have a large space like that.
Dude, every one of my house I've ever lived in, I'm always like, basement. Like, I'm a hot sleeper. Like, every house we've ever had, if there's basement room, I was like, I get the basement. And, you know, we'll share, you know, 1 or 2 rooms down the entire basement, dude. It's so much cooler. Dude, if they made basements in Vegas, you know what I'm saying? Imagine everybody's cost of living would be so much cheaper out here.
Oh, it would.
You know, because then you'd have, quote, your 2-story houses, but technically you'd only have 1-story house because your bottom basement would be, you know, especially last year when it was like 120 for like fucking 11 days straight.
And I wouldn't need 2 air conditioners.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. You know, these crazy sons of bitches and their caliche.
But like, okay, so where does this movie go? I'm trying to remember. I watched this movie like a million times when I was a kid.
He goes to school and does a montage of students, like when he's walking down the hallway and they're hitting him and he's spinning in circles. Then he's finally in a class and like
they go to speech class, Mr. Colley's speech class.
Yeah.
Which this scene, I have to say, is a very amazingly effective scene because there's so much stuff that happens in this one scene that like you don't even realize it, but they establish so many characters so quickly. Like it's a very effective quick scene.
It's such a fucked up scene though.
Oh, it is.
Like, I don't know about you, well, maybe I have done this, but within the first couple of seconds of meeting somebody, there's this student who just started daydreaming of kicking his ass and throw him out of a window. And you're like,
oh, Jack, yeah.
What the fuck? Like, why would you don't even know the guy.
Because his girlfriend is hitting on Mitchell, not the other way around. But he's supposed to be the hothead. He's the macho hothead guy.
But I don't think, no. The order that it went in was that dude started daydreaming about kicking his ass, and while he was doing that, the girl was daydreaming of that dude in his underwear.
Well, because he saw his girl looking at Mitchell.
So fucked up, man. Because then they didn't even introduce, because then they introduced themselves, and the kid's trying way too hard to like be California, like, bruh, what's going on, bruh? Nah.
Oh yeah, he tries so hard.
Double hoodies and a vest and a coat. Like, come the fuck on, man.
I know. It was a lot.
That type of shit. Like,
But we get like some of my favorite characters that really don't play later in the movie, but like I just love their introductions. You get Molly, who has a 4.0 and speaks very eloquently. And then you have Snake, who has just listened to hers. And he does that thing at the end where he's like, and I have a 1.1 GPA.
Yep. Bye. Bye, bitch. Looks like dude. What? Then the kid that dreams of beating him up, he now stands up and he's just acting like the surfer from California, like murdered his entire family because he's just like mean mug. He's like, oh, I fucking hate California. Oh, I can't believe this.
You don't think surfing is a sport, do you, dude?
Dude. Like, I was born and raised in California, but the last couple of years, California's really gone to fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll quit saying that I was born and raised there. But when there's people that act like this, like go out there like, hey, bro, like people like you can tell when, like, say with us, you go down to the strip and you see girls in high heels, they're not from Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. You go to people in Hawaii who's like, hey, chocolate, bro, let's do this. Hey, let's get the two-wheeler. They're like, you're not from Hawaii. You're some fucking howley. It's the same thing with fucking California, man.
It's like a full Ross Trent.
Like, hey, bro, what are you doing? You want to touch a curve, bro? No. So I was offended by the way that he was trying to act like he was from California.
Oh, God. Yeah, it was too much.
You know what I'm saying? And then apparently Skibidi, Ohio is like the hardest place in the world to make friends, but it's also the easiest in the world to make enemies because within the first 5 minutes of him being in that school, he already made all those enemies and like they're all like wanting to kill him and fight him and daydreaming of throwing him through fucking windows. Like, what's the fucking population of Ohio?
That maybe a few million, but I'm not sure.
Here. Fucking let's look this up, bro. Keep fucking talking.
But my favorite though of the introductions is Rosenblatt, the guy with he was the goalie, right?
Oh, God.
Like the broken nose, and he has that like the nose guard. Like he was the goalie on the hockey team because they make a big deal to talk about the hockey game that they have against the Preps in the rival high school across the city from them. Because his parents loved him so much, they sent him to the inner city.
Yeah, there is a little bit more than 312,000 people. So it's not that big of a place, right? Maybe the same size as Vegas, but also apparently that when they were talking about the hockey team, you only have the exact amount of players that you need to play hockey. And so
they feel ill prepared. Yeah.
That if two of them can't make it, You just grab two random people and you make them play.
Because Wiley, because Freddie and Pico, right?
Were they twins?
The twins. Because I got that mixed up. I thought Freddie and Pico are the twins. No, Freddie and Pico are. We find out they're not playing from the twins.
Oh yeah, but the whole fact of the matter is that somebody made it up a while ago, and I think it'd be a beautiful idea that kind of like the Hunger Games, except put like the Olympic sports in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, Anthony, you've been chosen this year to do the vault. Be like, what? Be like, yeah, you have to do the vault. It's like, I don't know how to do the vault. Well, guess what? Everybody thinks it's so fucking easy to be in the Olympics. So now we're going to put people in the Olympics and do it. Hey, Anthony, you're chosen to do the fucking bobsled. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing. There's like, you're going to play hockey today. And you're just like, I've never played hockey. They're like, I don't care. Fucking suit up.
Wiley kind of did this to himself because he talks about how he's a hockey man and all he thinks about is hockey. And his dad drives a Zamboni.
Like, right? My dad drives a Zamboni. Like, my dad was a janitor at the hospital. I fucking could do surgery. Let me know. No, that's not the same.
Let me give this medicine.
No. Well, let me write you a prescription real quick. No, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. And then there was the Hispanic dude that was fucking hilarious. I forgot his name.
Oh, that's Jacob Vargas. That's Snake. Yeah.
He's some hard ass who just wants to stab people with like a knife. And he's like, I'll play hockey. They're like, it's hockey, right? Like not fucking, I don't know, Warriors where you just meet with glass bottles and stab people to death.
Yeah. But apparently he knows how to ice skate. Which everybody is amazingly adept at ice skating who has never ice skated before and is not falling on their face. Except for Wiley.
I think like rollerblading and ice skating, isn't that almost the same?
I wouldn't say so. You have a wider base on a rollerblade.
I don't know, man. It's still a blade.
I played roller hockey, so...
Yeah, but you ever play on ice skates?
No, I did not. But it's a thinner blade, though, too.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But I like how the kid was at the hockey game and he was giving them all like life advice and just telling stories about surfing. Like, hey, man, the perfect time's going to come, all right? Like, we're all fucking 16 here, okay? Just catch the wave and totally tubular. And you're just like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Like, you ain't motherfucking Confucius from California.
When I was a kid, I thought he was so deep. And then I watched that again. I'm like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Like, dude. Yeah.
Nope. Oh, yeah. So on the hockey team has like a butterfly knife on them.
Oh, yeah. As they're playing. And that's okay. I guess that's okay because we're playing in the inner city.
Yeah. They pull a butter knife on him and then like, what do you call it? He gets knocked out from a hit, right?
Oh, Wiley gets knocked out from a hit, which is around the time that Snake skates past everybody and scores a goal.
Something. I just remember that kid got knocked out and he was knocked out for so long. Like it's fucking nighttime and the entire arena's empty. Like not a single parent gave a shit about high school kid.
Yeah, you're talking about Mitchell because Mitchell scores in the wrong goal.
Oh yeah,
when they're tied 2-2 because apparently in a regulated high school hockey game you can just decide next goal wins. You don't have to play to time. You can just decide that because we're the ones playing it.
Yeah.
But he scores in the wrong goal and scores on Augie, his own goalie.
Which really grinded Augie's gears because then there's an entire montage of them just pranking him instead of just kicking his ass.
Is there a favorite that you have in there?
All of them were just super cheesy.
Like sand in your locker, wetting down the toilet paper when you're trying to poo.
That one was and there's questions about that game. Have you ever showered at school?
Can't say that I have.
Okay, yeah, no, me either. Did anybody in your high school shower in school?
Well, oh, wait, we did in middle school because I had what was it? We had PE in second or third period, so
Yep, everything with me. No, fuck that. I've never showered in fucking high school before or junior high, and I don't think any of the people did it either. I think the showers. There's rumors that I was on the wrestling team, but there was rumors that if you're on the wrestling team, you had to shower before you leave, so that way you didn't get ringworm.
yeah, that's fair.
But I don't know anybody in my life. Maybe I'll have to ask my brother because like they were like big football stars, and be like, "Did you guys have like showers after the game and stuff like that?" He'd be like, "No, maybe just go home and fucking shower in the own privacy of your own home."
You could,
not with 37 other dudes.
But I do remember that, like, if it was, like a really, sweaty PE, I would shower.
Not butt naked and everything.
No, you wear shorts.
Oh.
And then just, get inside and clean, but you're not doing it in front of everybody.
It's funny because I was talking to my kid and I was like, you know what, motherfucker? You know what we had to do in high school and junior high? We would get into class, we would change clothes, stretch, run a mile, and then do the fucking activities of PE.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck, dude, how much more in shape were we? And we were fucking teenagers.
I know.
Anybody else like, Anthony, what are you doing? Nothing. Okay, look, let's go run a mile real quick. And then let's fucking watch a movie and hang out, and then go back to work. What? Why? That sounds god awful.
Yeah,
sounds fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
But there are pranks where like they try to murder him while he was driving. You're like, okay, guys, I think the prank's going too far.
Oh yeah, Wiley is doing his driver's test, and he gets spun on the road. That's really dangerous, but he's also like, we're supposed to play, or the kind of the gag of the movie is he's a bad driver because he also hits a car to start out his date.
Dude. Well, fuck, look at what happened in your driver's training.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about where you were, where he's taking a dump at school and then they grab all the toilet paper in front of him and there's like, here's water on it. So he just decides to do a no wipe, huh? You decided no wipe it up and then
you got a mud butt. Oh wait, no, that was a different one. I was about to say in the high school or the football uniform, but that's when he gets his clothes stolen in the shower.
Yeah, but you're fucking new to school. They already don't like you, and then you just decide to do a no wiper, huh? Yeah, that's how you don't make friends, bro. Yeah.
But,
so then here's a question.
So
you ever take dumps in school?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Wow, you really are a shy pooper.
Dude, I don't give a fuck if I would die not taking a dump in school. No way, man. I like to fucking take my time, let gravity help. If it's like, Anthony, we only got 5 minutes before third period, I think I can do it. No, you fucking can't. There's no way. I don't know how people do it, man. And then what would you do if that happened to you with the fucking, they poured water all over the toilet paper?
Grab a bunch and then use it to wipe?
Yeah.
And then I guess if you have like some, some stray toilet paper pieces, you can always shower when you get home.
Yeah. Dude, man. That kid's just making bad decisions, man, left and right.
But this is this after or before he goes out on the date with Nikki, who is the boy or the sister of Jack, and Wiley goes out with the other girl, her friend.
I think this is before it's still going on.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, somewhere around there.
But
but again, every time he talks to somebody, he's like, hey, bruh, hey, bruh. And they start off sentences like that. Bro, what are you doing tonight, bruh? What? Yeah. Nothing. Don't
super
fucking
annoying.
Talk to me. Dude. And then I do have, because then they start talking. He remembers that his rollerblades and starts rolling around town and gets like a gang of like all types of other kids that have like different means of transportation, and they all just fall in love and start doing gang shit around town.
They go down to the skate park or to the and they use the half pipe and he's pulling off all these insane tricks
but they're really not, you know what I'm saying? And then every single one of them hit puberty and came inside their pants when he like rollerbladed down the stairs and leaves and goes to the store. He's like, all right, guys. There's like, oh God. Did he just go down an entire flight of stairs? Holy shit.
He's so amazing.
They all became men that day in their pants.
Seriously.
So, but again, skateboarders don't like rollerbladers. And I'm pretty sure none of those like scooters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like every time you watch fucking Ridiculousness, Rob disses fucking bladers. And then bladers diss skaters. And you're just like, you guys are all kind of doing the same thing, you know? I mean, I can't do any one of those at all.
It's like a rivalry, though.
Yeah. But the fact that he single-handedly brought them all together, because there was kids on skateboards, kids on skates, rollerblades, razors, bicycles. I'm pretty sure there's somebody in a car just falling. I'm like, I hope these fuckers fall, because I'm going to just running them over, dude. But everybody was like, it was like the Rocky scene where he's like, I'm just going for a leisure stroll. And then all of a sudden there's like 50, 100 people behind him. And he's like, oh, shit. You know, that's exactly what this guy did.
I think it was supposed to be that.
Yeah. And so then I think that they start getting ready to go on their, I think that they go, he starts talking about going on a date.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember.
Because there's the scene before that where he's out rollerblading and he sees Nikki and they go to the, what's the name of that place? The where all the plants are or the flowers are, but I can't think of the name right now. But they go there and and he starts rollerblading around the place and gets kicked out.
Well, you can't kick someone out if you can't grab them. He voluntarily left because they couldn't touch him, bro.
Well, he does get a speech before he leaves.
Look, he's like, boom, 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 boom. I think that might have been later on, but I don't know.
No, that was because then they discussed, because she's getting on the city bus to go home, and she's like, I'm we should go out on Friday, and he's like, oh, he said and he's like, oh, I was supposed to go out with Wiley on Friday, and she says, well, I can bring a friend, we can make it a double date.
Gross. Maybe. But I just remember Wiley brushed his fucking teeth like a 2-year-old.
Oh yeah, he's like getting a full mouth.
Damn it. That kid. Like, I'm all for fucking dental hygiene and having amazing breath, winter greening it up, and I don't know. Sometimes if I get too like into brushing my teeth, like I'll have like the soap or the toothpaste like go down like the sides of my mouth and stuff, but not around my face like I'm a fucking cartoon rabid dog, like down his arms and shit, So then they go on their double date.
Yes.
Right? And every fucking question that they ask him, his answer is always surfer answers.
Yes.
World hunger. Oh, if they just had a fucking board, I know they'd fucking do this. Oh, yeah? What about Bigfoot? Oh, he's just never crashed a wave, man. That's what he's never seen. What do you think about conspiracy theories? Oh, man, as long as I got a board in my hand, fucking everything will line up, brother. What about Gandhi?
Like his entire personality. Oh, yeah, no, the Gandhi line. I thought that was pretty smooth because it's like, if you could have dinner with 3 people, who would they be? And it was like, who was it? Gandhi? I forget who the second one was. And he was like, and you.
No. That's all right. But the fact Well, if God just had one surfboard, man, he would have had to fucking do a hunger strike, and he loves everybody. Mm-mm. So then they're at the restaurant. I don't know how old you were when you started beating women, but in high school, like,
Wait, we're talking about Blaine now?
dude, whoever the fuck it was goes to a restaurant. You guys are in high school, and he fucking starts manhandling that woman like that.
So from this, I got that Blaine had been on a date or previously dated Nikki.
Yeah.
And he was trying to like claim his territory, basically.
This is mine.
Yeah.
There's probably a reason why you guys broke up.
Probably because you did that.
You're in public.
Yeah.
You're doing that. What the fuck were you doing behind closed doors?
Exactly.
You know, I called the cops. I was like, oh, wait, never mind. This is a movie. And I hung up. And then, yeah. And then I also don't know about you, but when you fight in high school, how many restaurants did you completely trash? Like, fucking, it reminded me of like the fucking Steven Seagal Glimmer Man scene.
Oh, from the Italian restaurant?
Shit out of that restaurant. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what? Jack, right?
Jack shows up.
Jack comes out, and he's like, you know, he tries to happen. He says, "You ain't worth it, brah. No one here is. No one." And then that was like the most offensive thing that, you know.
Well, because he's basically admitting he's passing time. He's not really taking anybody seriously. And I get it. Maybe that's not your most effective argument.
But at the same time, how long you and your wife right now, how long did it take for you guys to casually date before you guys decide that you guys were a serious couple?
Few months.
Oh, okay. So that guy lives in that town for a few months. He's only been there for like a week or two. This is his first, maybe second date that he's gone with this person. He's like, no one's in this town. No one. And then fucking Seth starts running off like Joe Dirt. You fucking pansy. He's like, oh, God, I'm not even worth it. And you're just like, oh, Jesus. You know?
Mm-hmm.
If all of a sudden you were dating this girl for like 2 years or 3 years, and you're just like, everything in this town sucks. Everything and every person. And yeah, the fact he's like, no one's worth it. No one. And they're like, oh my God.
But to be fair, I do get his frustration that he has just been tormented by all of these people, and they've gone out of their way to not make him feel welcome.
So quit being a pussy and fucking fight. If
you fight back, they'll back off. But
exactly.
But this is the silliest part, because after this, he has a dream that is supposed to be like a revelation, and it's Pepe the shark or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to fight for the wave. And it's like, did you need a dream to tell you that? Or
but
did you just need to nut up?
Also like to point out real quick, circling back to the fight, that everybody left.
Oh, yeah.
How did he get home?
Walked.
He fucking rode with them.
They're in some suburb of Cincinnati. I'm sure it's not that far.
They probably rode I don't know. But anyways. Yeah, and then he does the whole Gandhi thing again. Like, what a nerd, man. He's like, I dreamt about a shark, and in the shark it said to do this. Like, no, maybe it was just a dream.
Maybe it was just a dream.
I have dreams of me pissing all the time.
Dreams are mind junk.
Yeah, I have dreams of my teeth breaking. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And they're like, oh, it means that in 7 years you will win the lottery, and then you'll do it. Oh, yeah. You know? Then there's an underground street hockey game.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like the shit now at hockey. Like, he knows how to play hockey, dude. And apparently this is where he sexually harassed that dude and he pantsed him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so to get there, they put him in the game and they let him play, but then they're not going to help him because they're going to make him prove himself. So
you're on the same team.
Yeah, but they don't help him. Like, he goes down and he scores a goal, and then Blaine gets mad. And Blaine, like, comes off of, like, before the face-off even hits, just charges at him and checks him. And then...
Yeah, you're on the same team, bro.
So then he, like, lays back for a second and then pantses Blaine and runs off.
And apparently being pantsed is, like, the most devastating thing in the world.
I mean, getting called chocolate stained Blaine. I don't know if that's great for your image.
Did he have fucking Hershey highways on his underwear?
I don't know.
I don't think they showed that.
No, they did
but
not.
Dude, hell yeah, pants me in high school. See how many of your sisters fucking I'd end up having to give my number to. Dude, please come pants me, bro. You know?
I mean, maybe he's compensating.
Yeah. I'd say, come do it. Oh, no, you pants me. Like, I'd take my time to lift it up. I'd somehow, like, lift my shirt up. So, like, oh, what happened here? It's anti-gravity. You know? And now all the boys are in love with Mitchell since he pants that dude.
But yeah, they come to his house, right?
Yeah. And to sell the score, there's going to be a big skate-off race called the Devil's Backbone.
Yes.
And then it kind of pissed me off because, again, I've never seen that fucking movie, but the Tokyo Drift, you know, where he's like, this is our way to get honor. I was like, oh, God, this feels a lot like they're going to say some stupid line like,
yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. So then they start talking about how dangerous this hill is. And there's like, it's so dangerous that people can't even walk down it.
Like,
and you're like,
when Wiley says this, it just sounds like some silly thing that kids say to like highlight the seriousness of it.
Yeah, it seemed pretty lame, you know, because then it just looked like they were in San Francisco. And
you're like this, like this steep hill, like on the highway. So like really, it's dangerous because you're going to get hit by a car.
Yeah, but then they all show up to this race in like hockey gear. You're like, okay, and then here comes a beautiful line of the rules are
there are
no rules. I'd be like, you know, we're like 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't got to fucking take this shit that serious. But like, could you imagine seeing this shit in real life? Like, if you were just out front, all of a sudden you see all these nerdy high school kids like in hockey gear, like, I'd be like, hey, this is the Devil's Backbone, you know? You can't even walk down this hill. It's so steep.
I wanted them to like do a flashback and show the guy like trying to walk down the hill, and he's like, "Oh, whoa, whoa!"
He starts it's like play that Benny Johnson music or whatever it is.
The Benny Hill music.
Yeah, like, just keeps going. Yeah, and everybody keeps trying to grab Mitchell's wiener from like behind and give him a wraparound. Like, what the fuck?
I almost spit on my laptop. Yeah, because they did the thing without saying they did the thing, where they know he's the threat, so they're gonna put a guy on him to slow him down.
But the thing is like, Anthony, if I was like, hey dude, we're gonna go skate the Devil's Backbone, the only rule is there are no rules, wouldn't you be like, oh fuck dude, somebody's gonna try to kill me, like they're gonna trip me, they're gonna do anything? I want to be like, okay, I want to be like, all right, somebody's gonna grab my dick. That's the least that I'd be worried about.
There are no rules.
Like, okay, do I got to bring a bat? Like, do I got to bring a sword? Like, what do I got to do, dude? Like, I'm not going to be like, okay, we better make sure nobody grabs my balls.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
But this race takes up like 20 minutes of the movie, I have to say. It's about 20 minutes, right?
It's like the whole end of the movie.
Yeah, basically. It's like the whole third act is the race.
Then here's the thing. Like I said, when I was younger, there's two types of rollerblades that I know of. Okay? There's a rollerblades that I had that like you buy them at like Walmart and Target, stuff like that, where like if you press on the hill, then it breaks. There's a brake on it.
Yeah, you get the stop.
There's expensive rollerblades that my brother had that are like the trick blades and stuff like that don't have brakes on them. You know what I'm talking about? Because like when you're doing half pipes and shit like that and grinding and everything like that, you don't want brakes on your fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know? So all these people, they're these quote professional fucking skaters, but all their skates had brakes on them. So you're like, so you don't even have the like street worthy cred like trick skates. You or blades. You have the like Walmart brand ones, because when they're breaking and like all the smoke starts coming up and shit, like their brakes start falling off. You're like, okay, you know why they don't have brakes? Because they fall off like that, you fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a long ass race. And then here's some. Oh, sorry. So do you want to say something?
Oh no, because no, I'll get there as we get closer to the end of the race.
So The fucking race isn't a hill. The race is like a long ass gigantic race. There's so many turns, like through neighborhoods and something like that. How do you know which path is right? Wouldn't you fucking just go straight down?
That's a great question, because like they go down a hill and then at some point they cross a bridge. Like
they turn into neighborhoods.
They go over a walkway, right?
Yeah.
And they have to go down the stairs on rollerblades.
They're at the park and that guy like falls down the grassy hill.
Oh yeah.
Like, you could stand on, rollerblades can go on grass, especially downhill if you're going that fast, Yeah, dude. I was sober when I watched this movie too. So I would point that out, And then if this would have been done like in one shot, like The Protector, like that would have been so amazing. But it wasn't.
No.
Right? And so then whatever, long race short, he does this gigantic jump. And it was teams of 3, right? Like 3 people need to cross the line.
Well,
and then
the first team with 3 to cross wins the race. Preps versus the other guys.
So one guy, anyways, long story short, the brother falls, and instead of him trying to go and win the race by himself, he goes back and picks the guy up. Like, hey, guess what? You're not a hero. You needed you 2 to win the race, you fucking moron. So then they win the race. And
but before they win the race, I was thinking, like, there was a couple things I noticed here. It's like you get the dramatic music as they're going up the hill, and apparently they didn't dampen the sound well enough, because you hear this dramatic music, then all you hear is, as they're like running up the hill in rollerblades, is clop, 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 clop.
Yeah, man. It was hard going uphill in rollerblades.
And Mitchell has to do that, like, because he's never done this before, so he doesn't know this track as well as everybody else. So like he's got to jump
that track
over. He's gonna jump off of like a tow truck, like onto the ground.
Thankfully, the tow truck had a fucking ramp built onto it. Every man who's ever played video games would have done the same thing.
Exactly. It felt like a video game.
But then think of the whole town was there to watch the death race as well, so that's good. Like, hey, Anthony, what are you doing tomorrow? Oh, I got work. No, you don't, motherfucker. There's some 15-year-olds that are going to be skating the fucking hill. Get off work and come and hang out with me.
You're going to be sick. Use your PTO.
And then when they're going, they fucking shoot the duck past the finish line. They're like, pew! Where you like get down on one leg and you hold your toe and you skate forward. Yeah.
And then we see Wiley and Blaine's sidekick, who's like the comic relief for the bad guys, they get off of a pickup truck and pretend they crossed after doing the race.
Oh, yeah. Those nerds did that.
And Wiley goes up to the girl and he tries to do the Popeye line, and she just tells him to shut up and kiss her.
And then she kisses him. Oh, such a stud. Yeah. And then that's it, thankfully.
Yeah. That's the movie. And I'm assuming Mitchell and Nikki go on to date for the rest of the 3 months, and maybe something happens.
Maybe she accidentally got impregnated and they had to fix the problem. That's in Airborne 2. Airborne 2, fresh out of high school. Your parents are, they're in Australia. What can they do? They can't do anything.
He's going to go into window pane sales.
Boom.
There
Bye.
You go.
Yeah. All right.
So now we're going to talk about RAD.
Could you imagine if somebody only listened to like the first 15 minutes of this episode, and then they're like, hey, I got to get back to it. Like, if they just joined right now, they're just like, wait a second. Airborne isn't about fucking BMX bike riders.
Yeah.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Man, this
All right,
movie is so Canadian. It's annoying.
is it Canadian?
It's very Canadian. They even use the name of the town. It's Cochrane in hold on. I remember I looked it up because I was like, this feels so Canadian.
Huh.
Where is RAD filmed? The Wonders of Google. Cochrane, Alberta, Canada.
God.
And they also shot in Calgary.
All right, I guess that's cool.
And then some places, or they did some shots in Torrance too, and Upland. They did a lot of the trick riding there. Upland, California. So a little bit international. But oh yeah. So do you want to give the gist for this one?
Yep. So basically, there's this asshole group of kids that ride their bikes literally everywhere. But for some reason, the town people love BMX bikes, and they have a race, and one of the asshole kids is going to win the race and ditches college, and his mom, who doesn't support any of his decisions or racing, like she didn't cheer him on at all during the race. Also, swimsuits weren't invented, so everybody just goes swimming in long sleeve shirts and jeans.
That's fair. But basically, there were a couple things you did leave out. I just want to note that.
I'm pretty sure they're all solid.
So basically, in this small town of Cochrane, they are going to have the Super Bowl of BMX, Helltrack. It does not live up to the name. It's not Helltrack. It's not. No. It's not the toughest BMX race.
Maybe if you couldn't ride a bike.
Maybe if you couldn't.
Why would you enter into a bike race if you couldn't ride a bike?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like a Japanese prank show.
Yeah. But it's the story of Crew Jones, and he wants to be a BMX racer.
Okay.
But this is directed by Hal Needham. It is hold on, why is my phone being all glitchy? There it goes. Bill Allen plays Crew Jones. The love interest, the girl, is Christian, is played by Lori Loughlin, Aunt Becky from Full House.
Oh, is that who she was?
That's who she is.
I never watched Full House, but I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure that hot chick is in other things.
That's Aunt Becky. Yeah, she went to jail for a little bit.
My dreams now.
Talia Shire plays plays Crew's mom, and she's also Rocky's wife.
Oh yeah,
and Ray Walston,
retarded.
Oh yeah, Ray Walston plays Bert and Timmer, but you might know him as Mr. Hand from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah,
and
that's who that guy was.
Bart Taylor, the BMX superstar, is played by Bart Conner, who was an Olympian.
He just had his for what?
That's a great question, but I know that
he was Olympian for fucking rollerblading.
No, so I did watch some of the special features, and apparently Jorma Taccone and The Lonely Island are huge fans of RAD because they have referenced this in several of their movies, including Hot Rod.
Dude, a lot of like fucking Daniel Tosh referenced it. He had him on his show. Like,
yeah. So Bart Conner is an American gymnast and Olympic gold medalist.
Dude, why didn't he fucking do Gymkhana instead of fucking RAD?
Seriously, but like he's supposed to be like this sort of Johnny Lawrence, but he doesn't know how to be mean because Johnny's sort of a dick.
I was like, dude, if Johnny Lawrence should have played that role so much better.
You don't have to be the bad guy. You just have to be dickish to people.
But he wasn't really that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like,
he's just confident.
Yeah, because like he never like I don't know. We'll have to go through the notes when we're going over this, but I don't think that he was really ever rude.
No.
Was he?
He's just kind of socially oblivious because he's a superstar everywhere he goes.
Or he thought that like he was cooler than what he was. You know, like the only time he went and tried to pick up on that girl, and she's like, "Get out of here," you know. But then even at the end of the movie, when he's like, "Well, we'll get to the end of the movie," you know. But this movie starts out with so many tail whips and then street tricks. Like, could you do any tricks on a BMX?
I couldn't.
You couldn't?
No.
Dude, I could like wheelie and I could like do gigantic bunny hops and like I think that's it. No. I could stand on it. Like there's a scene where they're standing on whatever, their bike. Like I had some friends that could like stand on their seat and then put their other foot on the handlebars, and I was like, nah, I can stand on like the seat for a sec, but then I was like, fuck this shit, and I get down, you know. But it also, I wanted to point out, like the music in the intro and what's going on, it did not match what was going on in the movie at all. Like it was like fucking
those lyrics, man, and how serious it is.
I would do anything for love, but there's kids doing like half pipe backflips and tail whips. It was like, this isn't a love scene, you know, and mullets aren't cool. So, you know, but then it breaks out and there's like the trio of paper delivery boys, which look like men, you know.
Yeah.
And then all of them willy off and suck at delivering papers. Like they're just throwing it at random fucking things. I used to deliver papers, man, and we couldn't do that shit. Like they're just throwing it anywhere, and like the mom hits one in the car. Do you remember that? The mom fucking runs one of them over, and she's like, "Oh, what was that?" And the kid's like, "Oh, totally gnarly, bro. I almost got murdered."
I know.
Yeah, when I had to deliver papers, like I was fucking, oh god, I don't know, 5th grade. 6th grade, maybe, you know, and we had to make sure that we put the papers everywhere. There's like the montage of deliveries to like really fishermen in a boat, fire trucks on their way to a fire, just random kids on the street, garbage men, inside stores, huh?
And he's driving through people's stores on his bike.
Yeah, through hidden doors. Like, where the fuck did those people all live? Like, why don't you just deliver their paper to their house?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, Anthony, trust me, boy. Tomorrow, I need the paper as soon as I can, but I work the midnight shift. You need to bring the paper to my fucking... I work at the nuclear power plant. Please, for the love of God. My fucking mortgage depends on this. I can't be kicked out of my house again. Like, what the fuck, dude? You know? So many fucked up things. And then I don't know. Like, do they fucking have... I mean, like, back in the day, like, I had older siblings, and we were, like I said, we were born and raised in California, so I feel like I had cool clothes. I mean, I was nowhere near, I guess, cool in, like, my eyes, you know? Like, I had all of my siblings that are older than me are black. And so, like, when I'd try to be cool, like, I'd wear, like, you know, cross colors and, like, Malcolm X shit and stuff like that. But, like, I felt like I was cool, you know, had cool clothes, right? But then I look at this and I was like, did they really wear bandanas on, like, the outside of their jeans?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand how that's cool.
You know, like, and then, like, later on in the movie, like, it kind of made sense a little bit because I've had kids, like, that will put their socks up over their pants because if their pants were too baggy, they get stuck in the chain.
Yeah.
No, these ones were just fucking bandanas under the kneecap. And then later on, I saw him lower it when he does the fucking, we'll get to that amazing scene, you know? But, you know, but these kids are just fucking, I don't know, to me, and again, maybe it's because I'm getting older now, But these kids just seem like fucking nuisances everywhere they go, just riding their bike and fucking through stores and all this other shit. And then all of a sudden there's a town meeting and they want to add a pro track to town. Like, hey, we're going to add a track right here. And it's $10,000. You're like, $10,000? Like,
oh, no, they said $10,000 because somebody complained that why can't the local kids ride? And he says, okay, we'll have a qualifying race. And if anybody can qualify for Helltrack, they get $10,000 no matter what from town.
I don't know. Maybe $10,000 was a lot back then. But I kind of feel like the whole, the whole, what is it? Austin Powers thing. Who's like $1 million? Like, that's not a lot of money. Like, there's people that have, there's a lot of people actually have, there's like $10,000. I'm like, okay, what's that going to buy me?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like 2 months of no bills.
Yeah.
So then the BMX kids that hang out like a meth house and they just read BMX magazines and they wear their gloves nonstop. Like,
yes.
Their hands smell dirty as fuck.
Yeah, I bet.
Then they've never once felt a pair of titties or finger blasted anybody.
But apparently they're being chased by the local motorcycle cop.
Yeah, but then they're also just eating cereal. I was like, Anthony, what are you doing after school? Oh, I was going to go ahead. No, grab a carton of milk, and grab your best cereal and meet me at the meth house. Don't take your gloves off, though. Like some real fucking degens from up country.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then that's where, for some reason they run from this cop, like the dumbest place ever to run from a cop. Like, why the fuck would you? They're in like a lumber yard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So are they? I'm taking they're not supposed to be there.
In a meth house?
Yeah.
Probably not. But like the cop's like just kind of playing like, and like the cop's in love with him. Because like he's like kind of nonchalantly chasing like, ooh, I'm right here. Oh, I see you.
It's very playful, yeah.
Yeah. Like riding up the fucking things of logs.
Yeah. And then coming down off of past the gate.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you got me. Like,
yeah, and he's like, hey, cool guys, I love you. Finger point wink. Hey, what up? Any of you guys have single moms?
That did feel weird. It felt like a weird moment.
Yeah, but it kind of, thought the cop was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because if the cop wanted to, he could have just been like, quit resisting, and then pop, 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 pop. And then 3 less asshole BMX riders would be off.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is like, hey, Officer Dan, fucking meet us at the meth house after 3:15 because we got to eat some cereal and then we're going to get enough energy to ride up fucking loose logs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the more I watch this movie, like the more these kids are just assholes, dude.
Yeah.
Like riding their bikes through people's yards and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And take your fucking gloves off, man. You don't need your fucking gloves on every fucking where you go.
But the BMX riding is their whole identity. So it's kind of like
I wasn't
like Mitchell.
I wasn't hardcore like that, but I never had BMX gloves. But like I said, like I could do a couple cool tricks that I thought were cool. I never did a half pipe. I could drop in. Like there was this fucking road in San Diego right behind my house. Oh my God. Now that was the fucking devil's backbone. That shit was like a fucking 90-degree drop. I swear to God, when a kid, and it was like long as fuck too. So you're like, here I go,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But okay. So then there's all this talk about the school dance, right? Oh no, wait. Then all the BMX riders come into town and they throw a parade for them, right? Like,
yeah, but
It looks like what you would think a small town parade would look like
for BMX riders. But can I point one thing? I don't know why this is important, but they were in the house and they were talking about the race that was going to come up and everything like that, right? I don't give a shit about anything else in that scene except why did they have that 55-gallon trash can in their kitchen?
So you can put your sister in it.
I don't know. I had a family. I had a family of 7 growing up, and we had a normal kitchen. We had a normal kitchen garbage can. You know, there's no need to have a 55-gallon garbage can in your kitchen.
It does feel unnecessary.
Yeah, unless you were in what was the kitchen? Normal violence.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Maybe you might need one there.
Yeah, if you're a crazy psycho that kills everybody, then sure.
Bodies, yeah.
Yeah. So then there's a parade for the bikers.
The smallest small town parade you've ever seen in your life. This feels very realistic.
And I remember there was those guys, and I was like, "Are those guys twins?" You know.
Yeah. Which I don't know if you noticed that in both movies we have a set of twins.
Oh, we didn't see. Did we see the twins in?
Yeah, because they're the ones that tell you about Freddie and Pico getting detention and they can't make the hockey game.
See, and this is when you told me that they were made years apart. I was like, no, the fuck they weren't.
They're so annoyingly similar.
So similar. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, what was it? Armageddon and is it the day after tomorrow? What?
Deep Impact?
Yeah, Deep Impact. It's like somebody went, some asshole went to Paramount and some asshole went to Hollywood or something. There's like, okay, here's one. There's like, we'll buy it. Don't tell anybody else the story. He's like, okay. And then he's going to go to the other one like, okay, I'm going to do that. All right, we're going to buy it. Don't tell anybody else the story. He's like, oh, all right. Every single time a movie comes out, there is the exact same movie that comes out beside it.
Well, I think because we talked to, what was it, one of the All Eyes guys, and basically like if they shop the script around and there's a bidding war and somebody loses the bidding war and they want a movie like it, they will write a movie similar to that movie that is not the same so they can't get in trouble. Yeah. Kind of like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Know What You Did Last Summer was the one that the person who lost, or the studio that lost the bidding war made.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. And then again, I don't know why they fucking like give praise to these BMX people there, but all of a sudden they just disrupt an entire parade, huh? You can just grab, they disrupted a parade by moving a barricade, let another car out, and the cop's like, okay, USA. And then again, the little asshole comes and rides his bike over someone's car. Then everybody starts cheering for him. Like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah, like, crew, right?
Is there nothing cooler in this thing? Right? And then there's a dance, like a high school dance, and like the out of town people go there.
This is one of my favorite parts of the movie is this dance, because I want to say this is the third TV show or movie that I've heard Send Me an Angel in, and like 2 of those are old. Like this was in The Wizard. This was in that montage scene where they're doing
that song to my playlist right now.
It's a catchy ass song. It's in the montage from The Wizard where they're road tripping to the big video game tournament, and it's in here. And I feel like this is the best use. It's also in The Righteous Gemstones.
Dude, I just remember there was the high school dance and like people were wearing like space suits and shit. And they were doing, and then you've been to high school dances. You gotta like buy tickets. You can't just show up like, hey, I'm out of town. I heard there was high school dance here. No, you can't just show up to a high school dance.
Yeah.
And then again, crew, instead of like, I almost turned the movie off. Like, because I was like, what the fuck is going on with the space suits and choreographed dances and shit? Like, if I was like, Anthony, trust me, fucking 4 towns over, there's a high school dance tonight. Have you been working on your dances? Like, how are we supposed to impress these fucking high school kids? Be like, guess what? You don't need to, because they're high school kids. But then crew shows up, and again, instead of like walking anywhere, he just like does all these tricks on his bike, and the hot chick, instead of going like around to like get in the school, she's like, watch this, hi-ya, and then bunny hops over crew. Like, is that like disrespectful? I was like, Anthony, come here. You know, like if you could dunk on me, then that's disrespectful. I was like, Anthony, come on in. You're just like, oh, then you bunny hop over me and my bike. I'd be like, not my mongoose. Like, I'd be so offended. And then,
but
the other guy.
Oh, Bart is there. Bart, the big BMX superstar.
Yep. Again, why? But they're like, okay, look, we're going to have you a parade for you guys, but you have to show up to the high school dance with your bikes on a gym floor.
With their groupies that they bring with them that are, I guess, are their girlfriends.
They look like roadies from the parade, you know?
Well, they feel like they're part of the tour, the BMX tour.
I guess, yeah. You know, but this entire time, like, was the hot girl from Crew's town or no?
Okay, no. See, I had to watch this twice to try to figure this out because they don't
You watched this movie twice.
I did watch this movie twice. What does that say about me?
Damn it. You love BMXs.
I do not.
Man.
There's some dangling threads that because I did like a cut job on this thing, or at least I think they did, and there's parts that don't make sense when they trim scenes. But like, no, so she tells Crew she is sponsored as a BMX rider because she's teaching him how to ride and shit, right?
Later on.
But yeah, so like if you watch later in the movie, right before Helltrack, they're about to give out the trophy for best female amateur.
Yeah, and she gets one.
And she gets it because basically she's there until she to basically like practice until she turns pro, and she's gonna become a pro rider on the female circuit.
I don't know. There was a whole scene of Crew trying to hit on this girl, and then the next thing he does, he's going to the dance with this girl and hitting on her and everything. I was like, damn, Crew, it's a small town.
I know.
You know, and then she was in the parade like she was out of town, but then she's like hitting on Crew. Like, I don't know. I guess I've had girls that are like, hey, I'm only in town for the weekend. I'm like, all right, I'll see you in 9 months. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, then the choreographed song comes on. That's, you know, I'm not a huge fan of old songs, but that Semi and Angel song was fucking legit.
Oh my God, I love that song.
But then when she comes in and bunny hops in there, like she was riding her bike around and Bart is looking around like, yeah, all right, here comes my song. And she just completely overlooks Bart and looks at Crew like, hey, come on in. We're going to do this choreographed dance together.
They do a choreographed bike dance.
Yeah. And Bart and the out-of-town gang, they're getting served, even though they aren't on the dance floor. Like, I know it, and so do they. Like, I didn't know that you can get served on a bike, but then they do. And then he leaves like Cinderella. Like, he's like, oh, I got to get back to my other girlfriend. And Crew just fucking dips out after he serves those people. Yeah. So you went to a dance, did one choreographed, like, improv bike dance, and you're just like, goodbye, bitches, and then you just fucking flew away.
Which, okay, I don't know if you noticed, but it's very obvious there are portions of that scene where they are on some type of spinning thing that is going like a like that is holding them up so they can do these cool moves that like it would look different if you were actually doing them.
Yeah, no. And there's a montage of them trying to do tricks.
Oh yeah, he's doing like I forget the name of the trick, but like
a backflip.
It's like it's like a backflip on a bike. It's like
it's a backflip.
Yeah, so
a backflip. Like, that's all it is.
This is
not a twist. It's not a.
This is where she sees him, right, and she tells him, "If you're going to do this move, you have to to get this move right. Get rid of all the mattresses." It's like, don't have a crash pad.
Yeah. Like the Batman, where he's like, you do it without a rope. You saw me fall, right? Like, you know. So I wonder, like, there's all these mattresses. Like, you know how dirty those mattresses are?
Oh God, out in
Like when I
do you think they pull them down when they're done for the day and just put them away? Probably
so we
not.
had when I lived at my friend's house when we were young and dumb and full of cum. That's what they say,
Yeah.
right? We had a mattress in the basement that if I'd like to say if your girl's Aunt Flo was in town, that was the mattress that, you know what I'm saying?
The stained up thing. Like,
Yeah.
since it's already there.
It's already there. So that was the mattress that, you know, that we would play on. And my friend's mom one day, she comes in the house and she's like, oh, she's like, it was so, she's like, I've been guarding all day long. And she's like, and it just felt so nice and cool in the basement. I just laid the mattress down and took a like 2-hour nap. And we're like, huh. So if my friend's mom is listening, that's where that mattress, you know, I'm not saying any names, but I only had one friend that I lived with, you know,
Surprise.
in high school. Yeah. Yeah. And then again, they start going down water slides in their full clothes and playing in a river that somehow they're dry and cuddling afterwards.
Well, they have towels. They were prepared, and they have a little cabin down there that they lay in.
Yeah, and then this is where I was thinking, like, wait a second, was he just trying to smash that girl yesterday before he went to the dance, and now all of a sudden that girl's like, you know what? The only thing I consider when I try to get impregnated by somebody, I don't care if they have a job, I don't care where they're from, as long as they can BMX, choreograph, improv dance at a high school dance, that's who I want to get me pregnant.
I mean,
and then
it's high school.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take much to be impressive.
I don't know. I don't think that
Confidence
I've
gets you
ever
everywhere.
done a neat trick on a bike, and then somebody's like, "Oh, here's my panties."
Yeah. But okay, so
they were at Helltrack, and I mean that name isn't suspicious at all. And he's trying to like forge his mom's signature to get there.
I do feel like Helltrack because we'll get there, but
no, we're at Helltrack.
It's an oversell.
It's elementary track.
It's an oversell. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
there's
then
no
his mom's doing laundry.
Track.
His mom's doing laundry, and she hears it. Yeah,
yeah, because this is the qualifying race where they had like 1,000 people, and they whittle it down to 20 over a series of races.
Yeah, and those dudes were like, they were in hella shape, dude, because they were like going ham, like the entire race. That's all they were doing there.
It was like a sprint,
speed pedaling. It was all like off road and like trees and shit. Crew was wearing a hockey helmet. Okay, there you go. Wear a hockey helmet, and they even made a comment on it. Yeah,
Crew Jones.
And then that one hater that he works with is like, I hope he gets his butt kicked.
Okay, this is okay.
Fuck that guy.
Bob is my favorite because they do this beautiful setup where where Crew shows up late to work and Bob is giving him shit and he calls him Blob, and then the pizza store or the pizza shop owner, what is it? He's like, do you see that? You see Crew? He's winning. He's like, I have eyes. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I hate him.
When I was younger, I went to Alaska and I was working. I was 17 years old and I was working at a construction site. We were building these restaurants, you know, and it was such a small build. It was a gigantic build, but it was such a small area. We built 3 fast food restaurants, but we had 2 construction workers, 2 electricians, 2 plumbers, and 2 handymen, you know, basically. And we had this one guy who came in. I don't even know what he did, but like he got fucked over by like his boss because his boss just sent him to this tiny little town, didn't give him a place to stay, didn't give him any money, didn't do anything like that. So this guy just showed up, and we're just like, who the fuck are you? You know? And like I said, I was 17. I was pretty funny. I was friends with the whole crew. And for some reason, every time I talk to this guy, I just call him by a different name. Hey, Carl. Hey, Mike. Hey, Greg, Dominic, John, Chris. And so the entire crew started doing it too. And he's like, my name's not fucking that. Like, I don't even know what his real name was. But we kept calling him different names every time we saw him. And it was just, you know.
Like a running joke.
It was a running joke, but how that guy's like, hey, Blob. Like, I'm looking back at it, and I was like, dude, if I was an adult man and some 17-year-old punk-ass kid would kept calling me by a different name and I didn't like it, I'd be like, hey, you want to fuck you up? Then start calling me by my real name. You know? But, like, this Blob guy, like, it was just proving that crew and his BMX gang was a bunch of assholes, man. You know?
He's my favorite character in the entire movie. I want a side film about Bob that happens parallel with the movie.
Yeah, nope. And then there's some stupid scene where like some kid crashes and crew stops, and I was like, oh yeah, we're racing. I forgot about that shit. And then continue to race, and then what do you call it? During the race, like, you ever play that game Cruising the World?
Oh yeah, Cruising World. Yeah.
Cruising the World, where like if you do wheelies all the time, your car goes faster.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all those kids on the bikes were doing. They're just racing, doing wheelies. You're just like, I don't think that makes you faster unless you're playing a video game called Cruising the World.
Yeah, that doesn't make you faster.
You know? And then they were like, hey, crew needs a win. And then he comes in second, and they like lift him up like he won.
Well, I think he needed to finish high enough to be in the top 20. They're trying to imply that basically like he's right outside the top 20 and this race really matters.
Yeah.
They don't do a great job of that.
Yeah, no, because they literally said that crew just needs to win and he's going to win. He was like, yeah, that's usually how winning goes. And then he came in second. Right?
Yeah.
And then like his mom comes up and starts talking to him about, you need to take the mom comes up and she's like, the only thing good about this bike, the bike is the devil, mama. And started giving him like the speech of how horrible BMX bikes are. Everything. And that's the only thing I can think of is the Water Boy, where he's like, everything is the devil to you, mama. Like, I need to ride my bike.
Yeah.
And then here's another thing. Don't you take SATs during school hours?
That part, it made no sense because he basically goes to this race and misses the SAT. Then he can't take it for 6 months. But like, it only happens once every 6 months.
You take SATs during school hours, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I took the SATs in school hours. They gave us school hours for that.
Yeah, whatever you're doing on your weekends, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, crew decides, you know what? Since I know how to do a BMX, I'm going to go into a stranger's car and get a finger in my ass. And he's going to sign a deal, just like on fucking Two American World Police.
So this is when like Duke Best, the promoter or the owner / promoter of this BMX tour, is telling him like, Bart needs to win, and if you agree to finish second, we can sign a contract and have you be a part of
your ass.
Well, yeah, and be a part of like Team Mongoose, but not before he gets hit on by 2 grown women that are easily 20.
I think we should buy some new BMX bikes, cruise down Las Vegas Boulevard, and just get new wives, man. Start a new life as a BMX. Journey across the country riding BMX tracks, man. Wear Mongoose long sleeve shirts. We need to find a set of twins to hang out with us, though. And then we'll just live a happy life from here on out, right?
Yeah.
What did you guys do before this? Oh, we had a normal life of having a job and working and a family, but we saw the movie RAD, and we knew that we had made horrible life decisions, and so now we're going back to riding BMXs.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the restaurant, and that restaurant clearly was like a C rating or a D rating. That restaurant was so disgusting, it should be closed down, man. Like, what the fuck? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
yeah, it's just like the local town pizza pizzeria that the reason it makes money is because there are no other pizzerias?
You go to eat somewhere else? I dare you.
Yeah.
Like if me and you were like on a stranded island. Let's go. You're mad at me. You don't want to talk. Go talk to somebody else. Oh, you can't? Because it's just me and you? Yeah. And then somehow, because he won the $10,000.
So he wins the $10,000.
And then he makes a sweatshop in their high school.
Oh, yeah. They make a sweatshop with the kids to create. Oh, because this is the first of 3 abrupt rule changes that are probably wildly illegal. But it's the 80s.
They weren't.
So
they were in the rule book. He pulled it out twice on them.
Did they just like print a new page and like stick it in or something? Like I don't understand how that works. But so the rule is you have to have a sponsor. So he creates his own sponsor and calls it Team RAD.
Yep. And then the girl, that's the first time you see him or her grab his dick. It's like, oh, let me check your dong. I mean your inseam. You're just like, really? So you're a BMX rider and you fucking grab my dick? That's called
she's helping him
baby.
Make his BMX pants and shirt.
Yeah, that's how. I don't even know how to make clothes, but every single time the first time I ever seduced my wife, I was like, "Hey, let me check your inseam real quick." Yeah, and then, what? Excuse me. You ever see Date Movie?
Never watched it.
There's a hilarious scene. You know, the girl from band practice in American Pie, the redhead girl, white girl, red hair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's a funny ass scene in the Date Movie where she gets on a motorcycle and she's like, "Watch this," and it cuts to a very big, oiled up, buff black man doing tricks on a motorcycle, and then it stops and it's her that takes the helmet off, and you're just like. It's genius, dude. It's hilarious. And that's exactly what the stunt double for the hot chick was.
Oh, yeah. It was like clearly a dude.
Well, it was clearly somebody who like didn't have the same hair, you know.
Or larger. Yeah.
And then again, they're always jumping into the fucking river. And like, here's the thing too. A body of water when it's like cold outside. If it wasn't cold outside, why is everybody wearing hoodies? You know, but they're jumping into the river all the goddamn time. And there's a bunch of crack houses where they are, and they just they light fires and everything. In all these crack houses, they're just a bunch of lit fires because everybody's jumping into cold ass rivers in their full clothes, and they're just like, oh, let's just go to a new crack house and start lighting fires. Yeah.
Yeah. There's all these abandoned buildings. Like that would I feel like maybe the cop is not he's not mad at them. He's just trying to get them to make better life choices.
Yeah. And then did you hear him say, so after they were all cold and because they jumped into a freezing ass river with their clothes on and they lit a fire inside of an abandoned crack house, he said, I wasted 2 cans of beans on the fire. Like, that's what you did for a date. You're trying to smash this girl. You know?
You can't go get a couple sandwiches?
Dude. You know what I'm saying? What's the lowest that you've ever gone to try to get a date? Like, hey, you know what? I've got 2 cans of beans and some firewood and a crack house. I think I could pull it off. And then nobody's bikes rust.
Oh, yeah, because they jumped their bikes into the water. Like, that
all
was
the time.
Rust your bikes. And
yeah, and then don't you have a big race tomorrow?
Seriously.
Why are you eating fucking canned beans over an open fire?
Yeah.
You're not going to have diarrhea? No, just so fucking gross, man.
I know.
They even have utensils? You're just going to Popeye a can of beans
scoop
in front of a girl?
Or just chug a can.
Yeah. So then, anyways, there's the race people try to make those new rules about needing sponsors and shit. And when they leave,
sponsor has to made $50,000.
Yeah,
so
and then
the town holds a meeting to all the concerned parents hold a meeting in the town along with Mr. Hand, who is obliviously quiet in the background for most of the meeting, and then because I guess we're not supposed to associate that he's going to save the day because he and Duke have this mysterious relationship that they never really define. And what is it like? He keeps telling him like, do what's best for business, because I guess Mr. Hand or it is part of this this deal that if Bart goes in first place for the race,
Yeah, I never understood who the hell these two old men were.
they never define it. But basically, he's got to help Bart win, and the only way they know that the crew is so good that if Bart doesn't, or if he's in the race with Bart, that crew will win.
Yeah, and then it's like they just seem like they're who the fuck is it? Now I just forgot his name. The black comedian Richard Pryor and fucking Uncle Buck. Was it Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where they started just making bets against each other? You know? Yeah. So they start talking about the new rules, and it zooms in on the police officer's face, and he's just smirking, like he's coming up with some evil plan. So now, like, I'm just like, okay, now he's in love with crew the entire time. That's why he was doing that flirt chase at the fucking,
like they're friends or something.
Yeah, and then
But yeah, go ahead.
The hot chick's name, I think her name was Christian, right?
Christian.
So she acts like she's pregnant, and she's giving that bullshit speech about like, if everything doesn't go your way, you just want to bail. I thought you were a man. Like he's just leaving her with a fucking baby and being like, I'm doing my own work, bitch.
Oh, yeah, because he gets mad because there's another rule change. I'd get pissed off too.
But I wouldn't quit. But at the same time,
that's the thing. I don't think he was actually quitting. I think it's just one of those like, you know, like I need a moment, but you don't know how to say it because you're 16.
I don't know, man. When you're 16, you shouldn't be able to give fucking catastrophic speeches like that. You know, I'd say, did you forget that I met you 2 days ago?
Yeah, really. But then, he sweetly, they make up, and he sweetly like points at like a greeting card.
Yeah, and he's like,
quote,
having a friend makes you feel happy all over, especially in your pants. Like, yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
And then, wouldn't you know it, motherfucking crew comes up with $50,000 last minute. The old guy who tried to rape crew in his car, he tells the twins to take crew out, and Bart will win the race.
I'm sorry. You know, their job is to be blockers. Their job is to, you know, be obstructionist to crew. And, like, they don't do any of that. I didn't see any of that in this race. Like, none.
Well, because it didn't, like, Bart, like, give him a bad look like, you think I need help? Like, I can do it myself. I can do it myself. Bart
wants an honorable victory. He wants to win. But I think, it's never really explained if it's been, like, told to him that if you win this race, we have, like, this large deal to get all of your gear into stores, which even that, like, if that's the stakes of the movie, it doesn't make any sense to me, because if he loses one race by going second place, then that doesn't ruin his image. That just gives him a new dance partner when it comes to new other races. Like, you can watch Crew Jones face off against Bart Connors.
Well, it's also, right? You know, in anything in life. Anthony, you're going to compete in a sport? Yeah, okay, you need to win it.
But why does it have to be based on a race? Because Bart Connors has clearly made his name.
You want to keep going. You know, you want to keep that legacy going as long as you can, you know, but, and then
one loss doesn't kill his legacy.
You saw how small that town was.
Okay. but this is like, we're
all 45 of those people are going to be mad at him,
but we're meant to believe this is supposed to be a BMX tour that goes around the country.
That's a little bit more than 36 people,
like around the world or whatever, like around the United States, Canada,
dude. Yeah, and then right before the race, crew looks at the girl. He's like, so like, what I wouldn't do to go sliding with you right now. Like, go do it then, bitch.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if you noticed,
get the fuck out of there.
Bob is there with his date, the Asian lady. He's like, and now he has turned full-fledged fan because he's like, you know,
nobody was going to come with me when they try to riot, so I guess I'm going to join them.
So he tells her, he's like, I know that guy. I work with him.
Yeah, he's mean to me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's making you compete. Your mom's has openly said, I don't support you doing this. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Like, go to your SATs.
She is also just there. She does not cheer. And she is disappointed the entire time.
Dude, the mom never cheered once in that race, man.
No.
But I mean, at the same time, the mom was probably bored because Helltrack should have been called like shit track at an elementary school. Like,
I mean, people fall off the sides of the track, but then you see them get up and get back on the track. It's not like there's any stakes. It's like, at least in Airborne, like if you swerve into the wrong lane on your rollerblades, you get hit by a car or fall off the road and hit a tree.
Dude, how long do you think this track was? The 16th of a mile?
It felt really short. And they have to do it 4 times?
Okay, so by the end of the race, you rode a quarter mile. So maybe they weren't in shape because that's how, I could probably go ham on a bike from like the start of my street to like my mailbox. And that's like, except you put that in a circle. And yeah, because like, remember what were those bumps called? Like, just like, you don't have to go over the bumps. You literally can just go through them.
Wait, doesn't at one point like crew just does a jump to another part of the track and completely avoids a whole turn?
Crew was in first place, but then he decided, like, when he went up on the ramp, he decided to go forward 30 feet and then drop down. When Bart was like, hey, as soon as I get on that ramp, I'm going to go down.
Yeah.
Remember that? And you're just like, why would you do that? Why would you be like, okay, I'm going to go all the way to the other side of the ramp and then drop down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then he ends up winning it, and you're just like, that was the ending, huh?
Okay, but then they do this, like they get to the 4th lap, and crew is maybe 5 seconds behind Bart, maybe, and and Bart stops, and he pulls him forward or calls him forward because he wants a fair finish to this race.
I would have hoped that none of them fucking won.
As if there was cheating involved, because the guys that were supposed to be blocking do no blocking. They're trying to win.
They didn't do anything.
That's the thing. It's like that would be like if you have a NASCAR team and Ricky Bobby is your featured racer and he's supposed to win. And if he's ahead, then Cal Naughton and Brian Wavecrest are supposed he's still my favorite. They're supposed to play blocker for you and slow everybody down so you can win. That's what team racing is, right?
Yeah, nope.
They don't do that.
No, not a single one. Because they saw that he was making shitty decisions. Like, well, let's just see when does he drop in on the ramp? Oh, he's going to go all the way to the end and then drop in? Yeah, we're good. We're good. Just keep dropping in. You would think that after the first time you did that, you'd be like, oh, fuck, maybe I shouldn't do this next time. And then again, he did it. And then he's like, oh, damn it, that's 2 for 2. Maybe I need to do it a third time. Oh. They kept doing it. And then at the end, there's a fake sponsor that like hires Bart and they just raise his bike.
He joins RAD Racing.
Oh God! So
they have no money. How are they going to get to anywhere?
It's like that time I worked at a successful paper company and my boss quit and he opened up his own paper company in the basement. And he was like, "Who's come with me?" And I was like, "I'll go down there. I'm going to leave."
Did you call it Brian with a B paper company?
Yes. And then, you're like, well, I guess I'll leave my multi-million-dollar contract and go to this guy who barely came up with $50,000, and he calls everybody Blob. Nobody gets any money, and the town is saved, thankfully.
Yay!
Run the credits. God damn it, Anthony.
They have $50,000 to like start a BMX company, which
they don't have $50,000. They fucking spent that $50,000 to make his goddamn to pay for him to get in. Yeah, if I was the bad guy and you won, I'd say, "Oh, look right here in your in the stipulation, this wasn't your mom's signature, so now you fucking forfeit, and I'm going to hire the twins as my next people."
Yeah. Okay, nope. So that's both movies. But here is the point of the episode.
I'm waiting for this because I've been waiting.
Okay.
For the point. You haven't explained this to me yet.
So I'm thinking we can go piece by piece on this, or you can just say which one would you rather watch again and why?
I mean, I talked a bunch of shit through both of them. I can't do any. Well, I can rollerblade all right. I
can
can't do
rollerblade.
any tricks. I can't do any tricks. I could go downstairs, I think, on a rollerblade, and I could play hockey, like roller hockey. I could never grind. I could jump like off a curb, but not off of a jump. You know what I'm saying? So rollerblading, nah. BMXing, I could do tricks on my BMX bike. I could bunny hop. I could do a 180. I could wheelie. I couldn't spin the handlebars or do a roadie. Is that what it is? The front wheelie?
I think.
Whatever the fuck it is. You know, one time when I was young, like real young, I fucking did. My brother's friends were out there with a ramp. They're just like, do a jump. And I was like, all right, I'm a fucking nerd. And I did a jump. I did 1.5 backflips. And you see how you guys can't see it, but Anthony, you see how like my middle finger stuck like this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when I was little, I did 1.5 backflips, fucking landed on my back, fucking shredded my arm up, and I chipped my middle finger bone. So it clicks like this because there's a bone that is kind of missing.
Ooh.
So I like the BMX one better, I guess, just because I guess I can relate to almost being able to do like some of those cool tricks. But I hope I don't ever watch either one of these movies again. You know? Like I can, I rode my BMX bike a lot longer until some fucker stole it from my church. So if you were in Chubbuck and you stole a blue bike from a church, you're a fuckface, and I hope that you die a horrible death. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. A Huffy. It was a blue Huffy. Shit was legit. And I hate you. So I think I could relate a little bit better to, riding a BMX bike. We got Kane a trick BMX bike, and I was like, I thought he would have won a mountain bike, but no, he has like a fucking legit one that like the handlebars twist, it's got front and back pegs, like all that shit. Now I just need to teach him how to bunny hop and pop wheelies. So
hell
yeah.
So you're going rad?
I mean,
if you have to pick.
Yeah, just okay. Rad clearly gets the upper hand because it has that Semi and Angel song.
Okay, so that is the part I like the most out of both movies. But if we're talking overall, I have to go Airborne. Jesus. Because like the soundtrack in Airborne is just something I like a little bit more. Like you get Stevie Ray Vaughan, Steve Miller Band. Like you don't get Send Me an Angel, but you get some pretty awesome songs in there.
But would you rather have 1 10 song or 5 3 songs?
I call them like fours. They're like fours. But there's that. There's also, I feel like the race at the end is a little more like the stakes might be lower, but the danger is higher, which makes the stakes higher.
But I don't know, man. Like both movies, they built up this race like it's going to be, what was it? Death Drop? What the fuck was it? Death Race and Helltrack. You're like, oh, shit's going to get real.
Devil's Backbone.
Okay.
I mean, it's not quite Devil's Backbone. They oversell it. They do.
Yes, but both of them oversold it 1,000,000%.
But they oversold less on Airborne than they did on Helltrack.
I don't know, man.
But okay, so that and of the two main characters of the bad guys, I kind of feel like the bad guys are more interesting in Airborne, and Mitchell Goosen is a more interesting main character. Because I'd say they're pretty story equal. There's not much.
I'm going to post something right now while we're talking. Devil's Backbone or Helltrack?
And I wonder if anybody's going to get that question.
Yeah. If they do,
that's a deep cut.
That would be amazing.
But so we're kind of split on this. We might have to do another extreme sports showdown, or a different showdown.
As long as they're decent movies.
I got some ideas.
Like I said, I thought it was just funny that both of them had shitty things. Which was what, harder, scarier?
Well, yeah. Which one? I don't know. Like, how would you say that? Like, which one is more terrifying?
Okay. Devil's Backbone. Devil's Backbone, Helltrack. Okay. And then I'm going to say, if you know, you know.
Might be a good teaser. Right. But,
nope. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so that is our episode on Airborne and RAD. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, what's that quote? It's been real and it's been fun, but it has not been real fun. Or some shit. Yeah. No. I mean, I'm glad that I didn't watch these as a kid, I guess. But
I watched Airborne like 20 times when I was a kid.
Jesus. You should watch Three Ninjas. Surf Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas.
Yeah. All right. Then there was that knockoff one that our friend told us,
Oh, yeah.
But all right, then. Let's end it. I need a drink.
All right. Thank you for listening.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Everything gets berated. No one is underrated. From the screen to the stage, it's set the new